The law is boring. I hear this all the time as an attorney. And, well, okay, honestly, sometimes it is. But there are certain days when it is a font of comedy. And today is one of those days. Yes, we have news out of the fine state of Arizona that the legislation has been introduced to create a porn tax to pay for the border wall. Yes, a porn tax. So I'm Richard Chapo. I'm an attorney in San Diego. I've been representing online businesses for the past 20 years or so, and this is not the first porn tax I've seen proposed. Let's start off with a quick caveat. You'll no doubt focus on the two words border wall in that headline in front of you. And let me just state that I know that's a hot button topic, and you no doubt have very strong views one way or the other about it. And frankly, I don't care. That's not what we're talking about here. This video is not about the border wall. It's about the porn tax. That is rather humorous. So let's get into it. Out of Arizona, comes news that House Bill 2444 has been submitted to the legislature for consideration. The sponsor of this is Arizona Rep. Gail Griffin. She's a Republican. And the bill itself is pretty straightforward. What it says is if you manufacture or sell a device in the fine state of Arizona in which pornography may be viewed, then you must place blocking software on it. And so if you have your, let's say, smartphone, your PC, your television, anything of that sort, and you attempt to watch pornography on it, you would not be able to. It would be completely blocked. So how are we going to make money off this? Because, ultimately, that's really kind of the question, isn't it? And the answer, and where things start to get a little humorous, is you're going to, let's just say if you hate the DMV, you're really going to hate this. You have to jaunt on down to the Arizona Commerce Authority. And there, you will congregate with others who wish to view their pornography. In a room. No doubt there will be a ticket system of some sort, maybe a networking opportunity, who knows. But you will sit there for a while, and then you will eventually be called forth, and you shall venture to the clerk, where you shall slap down a crisp $20 bill and show proof that you are 18 or older. And she or he, although you can almost be assured it's going to be like a 73-year-old grandmother, will give you a key to access your device and turn off the software. So as you can imagine, there are all kinds of funny contemplations regarding this. 1, how are they going to advertise for the clerk's position? 2, what is the name of the clerk's position going to be? 3, what is the clerk supposed to tell people that he or she does for a living? Oh, Lord. So a room full of people who want to watch porn. So what happens to the actual money? Well, it is contributed to the John McCain Human Trafficking and Child Exploitation Fund. I'll repeat that. The John McCain Human Trafficking and Child Exploitation Fund. What does that have to do with the border wall? Nothing. It's not even mentioned in the name. So this name, now this is a legislative trick that is used by politicians, conservative and liberal alike. They both do it. And it's a trick that when you have legislation that's, how shall we put it, constitutionally questionable, you like to name it something that people couldn't possibly disagree with. And if you're really lucky, you'll slap the name on of somebody who maybe is considered noble or recently just passed away. And so that's what we have here. Human trafficking. Who could possibly be against, contributing money to try and stop human trafficking? And the same thing for child exploitation. And we have John McCain's name on there. Now, the irony of this, of course, is John McCain was a big advocate of free speech. So I seriously doubt that if he was alive, he would want to be associated with this bill. Oh, well. So the money gets into the John McCain Human Trafficking and Child Exploitation Fund. What happens then? Well, the fund apparently will spend it on one of 10 things, and you will be shocked, no doubt, shocked, I say, to learn that number 1 is build a border wall between Mexico and this state or fund border security. So there you go. That's how we get from porn to the border wall. Now, what's the viability of this law? Does it have any kind of chance of, actually becoming a law? And then if it's a law, will it actually be upheld by the courts? As far as can it become a law, I don't know. I don't know Arizona politics, whether the legislature will pass it or not. And if they pass it, will the governor sign it into law? I have no clue. And frankly, I don't care. But if it does become a law, it will no doubt be immediately challenged in the courts, and there it will die. As a general rule, we have this revolutionary constitutional concept called free speech, and it applies to a wide variety of content, and that content includes pornography. It also includes, I don't know, books by Hemingway. It includes that god-awful movie that you saw Saturday night, wish you could get the 2 hours back for your life. It applies to the Bible, any other religious texts. That umbrella is very wide because we believe as a society, from a public policy statement, that we want people to have access to information, and we don't want governments telling us what we can and cannot see, like we see in China or North Korea or places of that sort. So if you are against porn, well, just keep in mind that this also extends to other areas that maybe you want to see that maybe others would contest. I think it's pretty easy to see, based on the political environment in our country, and particularly in Washington right now, that a lot of people are taking some pretty extreme positions. And so having some of these constitutional rights guaranteed by the courts is pretty important these days, because Lord knows what's going to happen. But that's all subject for another video. So if you're not snickering already about the porn tax, let me give you some additional information that may well have you rolling on the floor. So, according to various news outlets, there are allegations that this bill was apparently linked or motivated by or created or who knows what by a gentleman named Chris, I believe it's Sevier. His last name is Sevier. And this gentleman is an anti-gay activist and one-time porn addict. One time, apparently got over it. Now he is a colorful guy, if any of the information is correct. So again, these are all allegations. I don't know these personally, but let's start in 2013. He sued Apple, claiming that his MacBook was responsible for his porn addiction. And then 4 years later, he stepped it up. Okay, I'm going to try not to laugh. He tried to marry his laptop. Oh, Lordy. And then he sued the state of Utah for not recognizing the marriage. I think it's really a pity that people won't stand up for the marital rights of laptops. Oh, Lord. Okay. So now I realize if you're watching this video, you may well not be a legal expert. And so I'm going to apply my 30 years of experience and knowledge of the law to predict that the lawsuit against the state of Utah probably didn't go well for him. And sure enough, you will be stunned to learn that it was dismissed without this gentleman recovering any money. And then in 2018, he wasn't done. He allegedly was ordered to stop using kidnapped victim Elizabeth Smart's name in a similar porn tax piece of legislation that was submitted to the legislature in Rhode Island. And no doubt the problem that he ran into is Elizabeth Smart, as far as I know, is still alive. And so she probably wasn't too happy to see her name being put on one of these bills and objected. So there you have it. The motivation behind the law was very, very interesting. So see, the law isn't always boring and dry. Sometimes it can be pretty damn funny. And this is certainly one of these occasions. So anyways, thanks for watching. Have yourself a good one.